Yo, what's up, people? That's your boy King, NBA 2K19, and man, 2K really needs to stop all this BS on the with cheating the user, man. Uh, it's nothing more frustrating than playing good defense, right? And in this play, I didn't even play particularly good defense, but instead of giving Kevin Durant the basket that he would have took in real life, they opted to pull a much more buffoon-like move in order to get Curry a basket. So you look at Kevin Durant right here. Kevin Durant backed up and ran at put some moves on Brandon Knight, right? So he froze me. So I'm cool, but instead of going all the way to the basket, right? He steps back. So he got the beat on me. He could go all the way to the basket and attack. This dude is like 7 feet tall. He can go to the rim and attack, but he decides to step back, right? And now he's trapped. So he could, in real life, Durant would be able to, but that's not how this game works. This game is not, it's not real life. So, so now what they opt to do is get Harden behind Stephen Curry. I'm not on, I'm on Brandon Knight right now. So they get Harden behind Stephen Curry to give that man this wide open three right here. And this is the type of stuff that I'm talking about. This kills the legitimacy of the challenge in the game because you don't really care when stuff like this happens. Like it's hard to get invested in something that cheats in this manner. You know what I mean? It's hard to really be excited while you playing games because you know stuff like this is gonna happen throughout the game. So it's not the type of challenge that you really care about. In real life basketball, when you play basketball in real life, right, you get upset. I've gotten upset on the court, and whether it's a street ball game or organized basketball game, I've gotten upset on the court. That's legitimate anger. Maybe it's silly plays being made out there. Maybe I didn't perform as well as I could. But that doesn't happen in this game. You don't really get upset here. Like it's just nobody's really upset at what's happened here. It's really sad actually. It's not a I'm not going. Nobody's going to come home and throw the control over this game. I've never thrown a control over this game. It's just because it's not the right kind of challenge that's going to get you frustrated. Because frustration, in my opinion, with video games usually comes from things that it's at the end of the day your fault. You get frustrated with things like that more so than anything in these video games. But the problem with 2K is just it's just hard to get frustrated or even really care because stuff like this happens all the time, and if you lose the game, it ain't legitimate no way. So it's just like it's just you know. And then you play and you turn it off, and it's really a shame that the competitive just you can't get a good challenge in this game without seeing silly stuff that would really never happen in real life, all for the sake of the AI trying to translate difficulty for the user. And I understand what 2K is trying to do. They're trying to create all of the things that I just said for the user. They're trying to create that excitement. They're trying to create that challenge. But the thing is, users don't really invest in illegitimate challenges. When you cheat somebody out of the game, nobody's going to invest in that. I'm not going to go play basketball and we sitting here flipping coins to see whose baskets count, or I'm not gonna go play ball and really invest in something that's the other team's goal is like 3 times as big as the goal that you shooting on. So it's not legitimate. Like you don't really care. At the end of the day. So and that's the reason why these games, because they've already always had they've always had problems translating difficulty, but you remember in past 2Ks, it was really just shot making. All it was just shot making. Maybe you have inflated field goal percentages, CPU made more shots, but it was a way to stop that stuff, and they didn't too much bother with your controllers. See, on here, what happens is they bother with the joystick. They move your defenders out of position. They make passes going the wrong direction, even though you got the left stick pointed in a certain direction, but it goes in the opposite direction. And that may be due to the pass vision attribute in this game. So I can't even really speak on that too much because that could just be that. But Either way, man, it's just too much stuff in this game to where you just cannot control. And that makes the challenge not legitimate. Thus, it keeps the user from getting invested in the game, and people typically don't really play games for so long that they're not invested in. That's the thing. Like anything that you do, that's anything that you're gonna do that you're gonna enjoy, you're gonna be invested in. It's just like a TV show or a game that you play. Game, TV show, doesn't even matter. Anything that you do, and you start to really take to it, you get invested in it. And that just it doesn't really happen with this game. This is you play this game, you go through the motions with this game. It's the basketball season. We like basketball. We like video games. Thus, 2K is just a no-brainer. So you play these games, you go through the motion, but really, you're not invested in this, man. Like it has so much potential to be a very great sports game, man. If they clean up some things like the foot plan and translate foot plan translation of difficulty, it's really the greatest sports game ever. But those two things, well, not even so much the foot plan. I mean, it is an eyesore at times, but I understand that there'll be. These are the type of things that and this is why I'm not shitting on the developers. Like we got some good dudes over there that's working on these games, man. They're passionate about this project. Now the publishers and shareholders and the suits basically they don't give a damn, and this is the reason why you see VC is done, the virtual currency is done the way it's done, because they just concerned about making money. But you have some dudes that came up from the 2K community that work there, man, and they give a damn, and this is the reason why this game, if we're gonna keep it 100, man, this series has never gotten outside of translation and difficulty. It was three main issues. It was translation and difficulty. It was ball tangibility, and it was it's probably something else. Probably forgetting now, but it was three main because I was thinking about this earlier, but there were basically three things. The two that I can think of right now is translation and difficulty and ball tangibility. So those have been the two things that's been plaguing this game for the longest. If they clean up on those two things, this is the hands down the greatest sports game. Period. They have the animations right. Just everything looks fluid, and but it's because you have guys working on it who really care about the game of basketball. And they know what basketball is. You have all these great freelancers in here, dude. You have all these motions. It's just you have all these plays. You can customize this game to however you want it. Because I'm sitting here complaining about the AI cheating, but if there's a way I could stop this completely. Like I can pro sliders. It's just my thing is I should not have to do all that. I can go make some sliders on pro. You just really wouldn't see all this. None of this was happening when I was playing on. It was a guy on Operation Sports. I forget his name, but it's Snade T1, I think. But he had some pro sliders. None of this was happening. He wasn't knocking guys out of position so they can make shots. It's just the way he had them. It's just they exhibited talent, but it was still legit. This is not legit, man. This is some stupidity, and everybody always is quick to clown James Harden and his defense. People are watching 2015 highlights from him messing up and defensive mess up highlights or whatever the hell, and this dude's actually just an average defender. And average defenders won't be doing shit like this. This is 2K saying, "Hey, we really need this basket." Thus, it makes you just not care, and it just kills immersion. Like 2K will kill immersion in order to have the AI create a challenge, and that's no good, man. I'd rather just the AI be easy, and I adjust myself accordingly. I find a way to make them challenging on my own. But anyway, peace out, people. Man, it's me with King later.